What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Dub CP, and in today's video, we're talking about the NBA 2K26 My Player Builder breakdown. I've been seeing everybody's footage. I mean, from Joe Knows to Cheeseaholic. I mean, Double H to Simply Grinding. I've been watching Cole the Man and all of them to figure out what I'm gonna build for NBA 2K26. Go ahead, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video because I'm gonna be breaking down everything that's new in the builder system for NBA 2K26, from cap breakers to specializations, from thresholds for 3 balls to dribble animations. I have been doing my research, people, so you don't have to. And at the end, I'm gonna show you what I'm thinking will be my very first build for NBA 2K26. Let's get straight into the video. Here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's Let's talk about the builder itself and some of the things that were said immediately about the brand new builder in terms of just logistics and UI. If you look right here, there are tabs and buttons that you can hit to open up extra views of the builder, kind of like we had before in like the pie charts, where you had to open up an extra chart just to see what the pie pieces actually meant. They brought that back in a way that they have attributes and detailed view where you can see the immediate impact of height, weight, wingspan, position in real time. And then one of the things that I know Joe Knows said was the builder kinda seems clunky, meaning there are a lot of buttons and extra buttons and pages and tabs that you have this year that we haven't had in the past, that makes it a little cumbersome to navigate through. And ultimately, he said, once we have more time with the builder, it'll be second nature. And one of the things that really stuck out to me immediately was once you start messing around with attribute ratings, you can see what badges are affected by each individual attribute, sort of like we've always had in the past. The only difference is some badges have different attribute caps now and thresholds. So one of the things that Joe Knows did, and I also seen Double H do, is go back and forth between height, weight, and wingspan to see what their max attribute potential would be, and then go back into the builder to see what badges came with what. Wingspan is only going to be 6 inches away from your height. So that means if you're 7 foot, you can only go up to 7'6" or down to 6'6" in terms of the wingspan. That is something that is different this year. And don't forget that they upped the height cap to 7'4" this year. So ultimately your wingspan can get up to 7 foot 10 inches if you go 7'4". The next thing you really want to start messing around with, or what I'm going to start messing around with, is, okay, does this height affect my ability to do what I want to do on the court? Immediately, I'm already thinking, I want to shoot decently from the 3 ball. I want to be able to dunk on somebody. And ultimately, I want to move a little bit faster. And I don't know if y'all have been watching some of these 2K26 Community Day videos, but it seems like 2K really has pushed the pace of speed in gameplay, which I think is going to be huge. But one thing that I took away from a lot of these Community Day videos is the fact that everybody seems to be able to speed boost, and that means from small guards to some of the bigs. And speaking of which, this 85 ball handle you see allows you to get the ability blur, which actually increases your speed with ball once it's activated, and you could get that at level 85 for your takeover ability. And that's a whole different aspect of this builder, as you see right here with the tabs, badges, takeover, and build by badges. There are things that you can particularly look at when it comes to making your build, the takeover being one. So if you wanted the paint surgeon takeover, you see the attribute requirements are right there on the screen. You also get to see what you're going to get from the ability and the takeover. So I really like that being upfront and foremost when you are building your build for NBA 2K26. And I know we've all seen the new edition of the builder in the search for player animations to put on your your build. And I just think it's very cool to be able to know, hey, I want to build after Shea, or I want to build after De'Aaron Fox, or I want to build after KD. So you can literally search it up, make sure that you have the right attribute ratings for every category to unlock the animations that you want. For example, I'm going to probably go towards a KD build. So as long as I have 70 or 75 ball handle, I'm going to be able to unlock the KD animations, and that's going to be good for my build. But you can search any player for the animation that you want in this new builder for NBA 2K26. Badges work slightly different this year by way of tier 1 and tier 2 badges. And it definitely matters what your height, weight, and wingspan is, because it could potentially put a certain badge from tier 1 to tier 2 or tier 2 to tier 1, depending on what your height, weight, and wingspan is. For example, Lightning Launch, which is probably going to be an extremely popular badge this year because everybody is allowed to speed boost, it seems like. You have to be 6'8" and above for it to be a tier 2 badge. If you're anything below 6'8", it's going to be a tier 1 badge. Why does that matter? Because of the new +2 that we're going to be able to get. So if a badge is tier 2, you're going to be able to get to tier 2 faster than you are to tier 1. You're going to be able to apply the max +2 to a tier 2 badge faster than you can the max 2 to a tier 1 badge. So you got to be very strategic when you go for certain badges, depending on the height, the attribute cap, weight, and wingspan that puts it in its particular tier. And when it comes to badges, there's something that's very new and very important to discuss when talking about this builder, and that is build specialization. You have 5 different choices to specialize in, and these will determine where your cap breakers will come from and your max +1 and +2 badge perks will come from. So understand, you have to be strategic in picking your build specialization for which badge you want to potentially move up 1 or move up 2. And we can't forget about the cap breakers when we're talking about this NBA 2K26 My Player Builder this year, with you being able to get 2 cap breakers per your specialization. So again, this is where build specialization is extremely important. You will only get to apply cap breakers to whichever specialization you chose. So if you chose shooting, you will get up to 2 cap breakers for shooting. Once you hit a certain tier in your build specialization, you're going to get the additional cap breakers. So please understand, once you are building your player, leave room for your cap breakers depending on which specialization you choose. Now that's out of the way, we need to talk about my very first build I'm going for in NBA 2K26. Here's the thing. I want to be able to dunk the ball on somebody's head. I want to be able to consistently make a wide open 3 ball. I want to be able to speed boost. I want to be tall. And on defense, I just want to be able to hold my own. I'm not asking for a lot. I feel like I'm asking for everything. And after talking about all of those things that we have to take into consideration, like height, weight, and wingspan, like max +1 and max +2, like build specialization and cap breakers, I think I'm leaning more towards a LeBron James and a KD like mix, like a K James or something like that. Y'all know I like to combine things. Y'all know the jump shot I've been using since 2K17 is the KDG. If you know, you know. Matter of fact, hit that like button if you know about the KDG. So yeah, that's what I want. I want a all around 6'7" to 6'9". I want to be able to speed boost when I dribble, y'all. I want to be able to use lightning launch. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have the ability to drive the lane after lightning launch and slam it on somebody's head. So yeah, I think I'm going to pursue finishing. But you know, if I'm wide open for the J, I might be a midi assassin this year. I don't know, but I don't like the thought of not being able to shoot a 3-ball. What do y'all think? After watching some of the builder videos that y'all have seen, what are y'all's thoughts for your first build in NBA 2K26? Put it down in the comment section. Yeah, and that's it. I just want to be able to do all of those things. Some of y'all might be looking at me like, dude, you're not going to be able to do all of those things. But I feel like in previous years, I've been able to come up with a decent all-around build every single year. So I'm definitely waiting for day one for me to get into the lab and cook up something special this year. I'm extremely excited about the speed that I'm going to be able to have with bigger builds this year. I ultimately always make a guard build, and I ultimately always make a center build, but this year I'm thinking I'm right in between, and ultimately when I finish my build, I want to see under weaknesses. Don't really have any. Which build specialization are y'all thinking? Put it down in the comment section. But y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it was. It's your boy Dubs, CP, here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's love. Deuces.